One of the largest differentiators between an elite level player and a non-elite level player happens in transition. And that's the phase of the swing that separates the backswing from the downswing. And it happens at the wrist joints, and it's a concept called lag. If you have it, you know the experience of super solid contact. You know the experience of high ball speeds relative to the club head speed you're delivering, ball distances that don't leave anything on the table, and low scores. If you don't, you know the frustration of really poor contact, you know the frustration of ball flights that are higher than they otherwise should be, and you likely don't shoot the scores you could otherwise would if you had lag. So that first step is going to be understanding how do we identify if you're a have or a have not. If you're like most, you don't have it if you're a recreational amateur player, and I'm going to teach you how to identify it and also how to develop it. Let's go. So how do we identify lag? What does it look like? Well, success leaves clues. Take these professional players as example. If we stop them mid backswing, lead arm parallel to the ground, they've got X angle between the left arm and the club shaft. If we also then forward them into the downswing and again stop the lead arm when it's parallel to the ground, it'd be X minus some amount, meaning the angle formed between their lead arm and club shaft is much more acute as they're traveling into the downswing than it was going back. That's the definition of lag. That's success leaving clues. What success am I talking about? Well, these players all crush it. They all maximize the amount of ball speed for a given club head speed. They all squeeze the golf ball between the club and the turf. That thing takes off and they all shoot low scores. Well, you want to create more lag, but first step is you need to identify whether you're that have or the have not. Well, now we know what it looks like. So what I want you to do is I want you to put your camera on a tripod or sit it on a little drink stand or sit it in your golf bag, face on, take a swing, replay that swing, stop yourself lead arm parallel to the ground. If you have a tool, draw a line on screen. If not, just kind of build a visual reference to something in the distance. Move the swing forward in time. Stop when that lead arm's parallel to the ground, the downswing. If you are more acute versus wider versus obtuse, if you're more acute, stop watching the video now. But I bet as most recreational players struggle with this, you're not. And so you can keep watching because now we're going to launch right into a breakback drill, which is the most high mileage play to develop that all-important lag that's going to have you crushing these irons, in fact, crushing any club in the bag, hitting it more solid and shooting lower scores. Let's get into it. So there are two varieties of lag. We can create it actively and we can create it passively. Most players do a little bit of both. What do I mean by that? Well, during the backswing, the club head, the weight, is further away than where I'm holding it, further away than the middle of the grip where I've got support of the club. And if I let the club head win, it's going to want to rotate down to the ground. And so in order for me to get the club lifting up, creating the initial part of the angle that should be happening in the backswing, I need to create some sort of active movement that then almost throws the club over my shoulder. Throw being a bad word, loads the club over my shoulder is probably a better word that I should be using. That's the active first step towards evolving or developing lag. Then, what's passive lag? Passive lag happens later in the backswing, where now the weight of the club is to the target side of where my hold is, and if all I do, if I let go a little bit, let the weight win, it wants to drop really close to my trail shoulder. That's passive lag. I'm actually not torquing the grip back towards my shoulder. I'm just letting the club head move my wrist into an increasing amount of that wrist angle that we're terming lag. That's going to be the unlock for more power for you. We want a bit of both. Here's how we develop a bit of both. It's that high mileage play that I termed breakback. Here's how to develop it. It starts in a practice swing. You're going to step away from your golf ball. You're going to make a backswing. You're going to stop roughly when your lead arm is parallel to the ground, and you're going to try and create a 180 degree between your lead arm and your club shaft. Now we're going to create some active lag by moving the club head back towards your trail shoulder, but at the same time, bring the handle forward. So that's the motion there. Done in a live fire rep. We hold the middle of the backswing. One, we kick and pull, we reset, we kick and pull. That's a low trajectory, 140 yard 7-iron. It's pretty far 7-iron from a freeze rep swing. Swing where I'm frozen in the middle of the backswing and then I create this break back that then is the beginnings of developing more lag. Yes, you'll make divots. A normal part of a well-struck iron shot, particularly a 7-iron, is going to be the interaction, that second collision. First collision, club to ball. Second collision, club to ground. Break back's going to help it happen in that order as well. Whereas most of you probably live the experience when you're tossing it, when you're throwing it away, where the first collision is club to ground, and then the second collision is the dirt into the golf ball, right? Okay, so then we can graduate into, rather than it being a freezer rep, kicking the club head actively back towards the trail shoulder, pulling the handle forward, or moving the handle forward, and we'll turn that into a more dynamic rep. There it is, dynamic. I even see it in my shadow back here. And now it's still the mini swing where I'm trying to be wide in the backswing, and I'm trying to create a lot of that break back in transition. Again, what is that? That's me actively pulling the club head, the shaft, back towards my shoulder as I'm feeling that handle start its forward travel. That's phase one of break back. It can happen for you in as few as 3 or 4 swings. It's not a difficult concept once you do it in the order that I'm talking about, the tactic of freeze it, experience it, then blend it in to some practice swings, and then turn that into a short motion live fire rep. Now, we'll get to the second phase, which is more full break back, working in active into more passive, where you get up here and you're just gonna let the club shaft move back towards the trail shoulder. As soon as you feel the weight move towards the trail shoulder, I want you moving the handle down fast, down in front of you. So there's this whiplash effect, similar to the water skier who gets out the wake and then crosses past the boat, if you're a water skier. If not, that metaphor is lost on you. Nonetheless, here's a freezer rep integrating active, there's active, and now some passive, just like so. As soon as I felt myself kick the weight, let the weight go more, I rip the hand path down. It's probably a 160-yard 7-iron. And the final shot, before I leave you with some closing thoughts, would be putting it all together, trying to let that club just bend back towards my collarbone as much as I can, because it would be better to do more rather than less, since the entirety of your experience has likely been an absence of any of this. I'm going to do more break back, more lag than less. Rehearse it once. There it is. And here we go. Oh yeah. It's just a really strong 7-iron, probably 180, 85 yards, which is big for me with a 7-iron. So, closing thoughts. In order for you to play better golf, if you have an absence of lag, you need to develop it. Some diligent practice, deliberate practice needs to be spent in order for something to emerge, meaning this lag concept, where there's been an absence of it for a good period of time. So evaluate yourself. Even, I would stress, use video to confirm that the sensations that I'm describing to you, this break back drill, are helping you, that you're actually seeing this lag begin to emerge. You're going to be surprised at the position change down here at impact, where it used to be likely your handle adjacent to your trail leg, club head passing. You're going to be over here where the handle's leading, the club head's trailing. You're going to start to hit way more solid iron shots. Do the same with your 3-wood. Do the same even with your driver, and every club in the bag is going to go further. You're going to play better golf, and you're going to enjoy it. All the best.